Hey, what is going on everybody? The Seer here with my round 2 video, and was a very special one. A friend of the channel, Updog, actually had it to where I was able to go on stream and I did a one-on-one bout with my opponent, Shang. It was a whole lot of fun, so the matches on here are actually going to be the replays of the fight, so it's going to be a little bit different. I'll still do the usual breakdown of the fights. There were some technical difficulties when I was in the Discord chat and trying to actually do the screen recording, so that's why I was able to do the recording as the fight was going on. So again, this would be the replays of the fights, but it's still going to be the same quality, I hope, for what you guys expect. So here's my opponent, Shang. He is 72 million TCP, so this was a 2 million punchdown. But he's a really good player, and I really hope he had as much fun fighting me as it did fighting him. So again, thank you for this matchup. So here are his defenses. So in stage 1, he had Unlimited X-Men with Dorm. Stage 2 was Pegasus. Stage 3 was X-Treme X-Men with Bishop. Now I'm going to come back to this one when I actually get to that matchup. Stage 4, he had Darkhold with the Red Hulk. Stage 5, he had Infinity Watch. In Stage 6, he had Secret Defenders with Black Knight. So instead of doing the full out of time team, he's kind of doing what I'm doing and I actually recommend doing, which is putting Black Knight onto another team. That way you're going to enhance that team itself. You kind of turn a good team into a great team when you end up moving him off of out of time. So for stage 1, I'm going to use my Cabal here with Venom and Void Knight. The thought process behind this is Void Knight, I'm able to do some kind of ability block, pull them in, and Venom's going to be able to get that damage boost that Cabal will provide. So for the start of the match, Void Knight is going to go first. What I actually do is I look to see which one does not have a Raider on it, who ended up being Dazzler. I used the ult right there to pull them in. Rogue ended up doing the special and kind of locked down the Iron Patriot here. When I used Namor's ultimate, he actually had offense down, so it didn't do as much damage as I really hoped. There is a taunt that is on Rogue, so later I used the special. Even with the taunt and all the buffs she had, that special still just kind of deletes anyone, so Leader's special is amazing in that right. You can kind of see the pings that Gambit is dishing out on here. Venom is up, I end up finishing off the Dorm, and for Namor I used the special, and that let me kind of kill 3 of their lives right there, and now I just had to worry about Dazzler and Gambit. This is a pretty quick matchup. As far as the efficiency goes, I don't think I did too bad on this one. For stage 2, I'm using my Bifrost into the Pegasus. Now the funny thing is that this is the first time both of us actually fought a Pegasus on defense, which we found really amusing. Bifrost, they have so many counters right now, so pulling them to put Pegasus on there can actually trip up your opponents, and you're going to see here kind of the threat level that Pegasus has on Bifrost, because it is a scary fight. So for this fight here, Pegasus has the opening barrage on you. The only thing that's really saving you is the safeguard and all the death proofs that Bifrost actually comes in to spawn with. So here you see the Kestrel uses the ult, and all of them are just kind of burning the ults right now. You do get some retaliates in on them because of the regens that Team Loki gives you. And I almost did kill the Darkhawk, as you see. Now I get the retaliates onto the Iron Man Infinity War. Kestrel ends up doing the special, and the only thing that saved me there again are the death proofs with the safeguard. Once the opening barrage is over, now I get to take my hits on them. So I'm using Sylvie's ultimate, I get to do that turn rewind to them. Team Loki is up. I actually used the special on the Darkhawk. I want to get some splash damage in on there. For Val's turn, I used the special on Kestrel, And I actually did kill the Darkhawk first, which is good because Darkhawk is the one that gets respawned in instead of Kestrel. I use Loki's mind control to hit the Iron Man Infinity War, so I'm working him down a little bit. Beta Ray Bill comes in, uses the ult, and flips all those buffs into negative effects. The rescue was able to kind of flip those back, unfortunately, so I wish I would have got the rescue down sooner. Right there, they kind of worked down Beta Ray Bill a little bit, and now Vol comes in. I use the ult that does massive damage because it is a raid room. The rescue is still alive, and there she ends up dying. So now I just need to take out the Darkhawk and the Ironheart Mark II. So as you see, this is a very scary fight because of how much punishment you take, and there's just a thin line that saves you, which is the Death Cruise. For stage 3, I went in with Masters of Evil and Echo. You do see I actually dropped this attack here. That bishop actually threw a monkey wrench into the opening barrage of this attack, which I really wasn't expecting it to influence it that much. I'm going to kind of show you what happened at the start and what kind of mistakes I made during this fight. So for the start of the match, Titania goes first. I had to use the ult on Bishop at the start, so I'm not able to get the vulnerable on the Nightcrawler. Kang, I do use the special. Bishop is now gone. Forge gets that turn meter. I'm perfectly fine with that part of it. Here I use Moonstone special on Nightcrawler. I think I should have used the ult on Nightcrawler. That would have done the turn meter rewind to him and Cyclops, and still get that stun off, which is my goal. For Adorman, I end up using the ult on Nightcrawler. I'm just focusing him down, and this was a very beefy Nightcrawler, so he takes a lot of punishment. Here you do see some of the retaliates coming back at me. I'm still trying to put that pressure on Nightcrawler, but he's just not dying. Here I end up getting to where I can use Kang's ult. There was no vulnerable on Nightcrawler, but there was on Sunspot, so I think I should have targeted Sunspot so that way you get the striker attack on the Sunspot there. Here I finally get Nightcrawler down, and there's only 3 guys left, and you're about to see what happens because I didn't do that rewind to Cyclops. Here I use Moonstone's ultimate. I could have actually used the special on Cyclops there if I would have flipped those 2 abilities around. Here Cyclops now does have the offense up because I killed Sunspot. He just ulted me and basically wiped out my whole team. So that's kind of the mistakes that I made on here, and it was pretty costly, as you see. As far as the cleanup point, I just went in with War Dogs. I used 1 move, so he was that close to death. For stage 4, I thought this would be actually a more efficient attack for me. I went in with Super Skrull, Tangled Web, and 2 pieces of the Hive Mind of Red Goblin and Carnage. However, the Wong that you see on here is very big. He's level 100 and he is 2 diamond, so you're going to see what kind of punishment he can take that actually causes the issues for me. So Super Skrull will be going first. I was debating either using the basic to get a disrupt on Wong, do the special to ability block Red Hulk, or start with the ult. I went with the special on Red Hulk first, that way I can actually rewind Morgan. There you do see I used the ult from Weaver on Wong and he actually resisted it, and that was another big play to where I couldn't stop him from doing his taunt. Red Goblin, I end up using the ult. You see Red Hulk is now dead. The damage he did was really high. Super Skrull, I do the ultimate. Morgan is dead. The Heartless and Agatha both unfortunately still lived, but I'm stuck behind Wong. Luckily, Heartless did have offense down, so when he used that ult, it didn't do as much damage as it could have. So right now, I'm just focusing everything I can on Wong, and he's taking a massive beating right now. Weaver just did the special, and the ISO attack is what actually killed him. So he definitely sucked some efficiency out of me on this matchup. Honestly, after mapping all my attacks out, this was the main fight I was worried about, because it is a very big Infinity Watch, and the best thing I had going in here would have been the Spider-Man Big Time, the Eternals, but I want to make sure that Icarus didn't get the blind on him, so I was either debating doing like a pre-taunt with Doom. I ended up going with Red Hulk and Shang-Chi, and you're going to kind of see what happens on this matchup. So right away, I end up using the Big Time Special on Gamora and Nebula, so both of their revived onces are off. Unfortunately, the Adam Warlock still has evades on here, and right here you see that I already lost my Shang-Chi, so I was pretty upset about that because I really wanted his damage and turn rewinds. I used the Icarus ult, and unfortunately Nebula lived through that, so I didn't get the double tap. Here I end up using the special from Icarus because Adam Warlock did have the taunt on him and there were the deflects, so I got some pretty good damage on him. So right now I'm just kind of stuck behind the taunt, so I'm trying to do as much damage as I can. I was hoping I'd get enough to where I can get to the ult from Red Hulk, but unfortunately right there, Adam Warlock targeted the Red Hulk. So everything that could have gone wrong kind of went wrong on this matchup. I didn't want to back out because I already did drop one fight already, so I was just going to try to do as much damage as I possibly could, hopefully take out Nebula because she was low on health right there, and then I was already prepping and playing into my head on going in for the follow-up attack. However, I used War Dogs for the follow-up attack, so I had to go in with the new Warriors for the follow-up attack. So let's go ahead and take a look at that follow-up. So I really wasn't sure how this follow-up would do. It is the new Warriors, so they are still fairly good. There's a 4-piece with the Infinity Watch. They do start with that Safeguard and Immunity, so I had to kind of be careful and meticulous on which abilities I use when. So Gwenpool does go first. I end up using her special still. For Firestar's turn, I actually use the basic into the Philo-Vel. I can't do the turn rewind, and I can't really flip anything, so that's why I went with the basic. Cloak, I still end up doing the ultimate. I just wanted to get the damage out there, and that's what I did also with Dagger and her special. Here you do see that Gamora targeted Gwenpool. I'm able to fight back and use the ult, so I got some more damage back out on them. And right now the evades are kind of what's saving me as far as the efficiency goes. Now it's Firestar's turn. Most of the buffs are off, so I end up using the ultimate. So I was able to take 2 characters out right there, and Deathpool kind of did some cleanup, and now I just had to worry about Gamora. So it wasn't too bad of a cleanup, even with the Safeguard and the immunity. I just had to time my attacks properly. For stage 6, I end up using the Superior 6 with Apocalypse. I needed the Apocalypse as far as like a nice counter into the Black Knight, the Superior 6 as far as the counter for the overall team. I think I might have been able to come in here with something a little bit different that could have worked better. I'll talk about that in the results portion. So Lizard will be going first. I use the ultimate, I strip all those buffs off the other side. There the Black Knight does that retaliate. Ms. Harlight ends up doing the rewind on Lizard and Doc Ock, which Doc Ock's fine being rewound there. Green Goblin Classic, I do the ultimate, I get the debuffs and the trauma out there. For Craven, I use the special on Black Cat, so I got a lot of bleeds and some traumas out there. Apocalypse, I do the ult, I get the stun on Black Knight, and I have to do the Falcon Punch to Ms. Marvel Hardlight. Black Cat did end up falling over, so now all I have to do is take out Black Knight. This was a fairly quick match overall. And as you see, Shang totally kicked my teeth in. He got a 50,207. I haven't really given up that many points in a very, very long time, and he hasn't gotten that many points in a very long time either. Overall, he said that he ended up using the MSF counter spreadsheet, so that definitely gave him a lot of guidance as far as how to optimize his attacks. That's why I put that in the tips video as well, so make sure you definitely use that, because as you see, it definitely works. Let's go ahead, check out the defenses, and see what happened for the scores on each side. For stage 1, I got a 8366. I didn't feel I did too bad as far as the efficiency went on here, but I think I could have used a different team and then used Cabal elsewhere looking back at this. For stage 2, I got an 8364. I think that's a pretty good score using the Bifrost into the Pegasus, so I'm pretty happy about this one. This is the one that really hurt. The 7964, the Bishop, like you saw, definitely threw a monkey wrench into the fight, and those few little mistakes actually cost me because that Cyclops going off, I knew that was coming also, I just couldn't stop it in time. For stage 4, I got a 8362. I was hoping I'd actually get a better score than this. I was expecting maybe in like the 8365 to 68 range, maybe even 70. It's just I couldn't get through that Wong in time. He was just too big and it just took too many turns is what it kind of came down to, unfortunately. For stage 5, I got a 7952. And this was the fight I was actually worried about because I kind of got spread out too thin. I knew I was going to kind of mess up the Infinity Watch fight, and unfortunately I did. That's just kind of what happens when you kind of get your offensive stretched out and you're kind of left over with whatever's left to take out the Infinity Watch. You have to treat them with respect too, unfortunately. For stage 6, I got an 8364. Again, I don't think that's too bad of a score. I was hoping I'd get a little bit more out of this one, but that's just kind of the price you pay when you go against a Black Knight team with those retaliates, kind of taking your health bonus down. And onto my defenses. So for stage 1, he used Cabal with Kang and Titania, so he did end up breaking up his Masters of Evil. This got him an 8369, so a really good efficiency score on this one. For stage 2, he got an 8367, so he did end up out efficiency me on the stage 2 matchup by 3 points. Watching this live though, he did end up losing the Beta Ray Bill, and he was able to bring him back right at the end with Vol's ultimate. So he almost did lose efficiency, but that revive definitely saved him on that one. For stage 3, he got an 8370, so he used New Warrior's Echo into my 3-piece X-Men with Quicksilver Spider-Man War. There are a lot of RNG factors onto this one, but he got a very good score on this fight. For stage 4, I had my Black Order with Omega Red in here. He just used Hive Mind Super Skrull. He got an 8371, so another very high efficiency score on this fight. For stage 5, I had Infinity Watch with Black Knight in here. He used Spider-Man Big Time Eternals Nova Apocalypse. He got an 8361, and it really came down to the first turn. He was able to use the Big Time Ultimate to flip the Black Knight, and then that kind of really helps you win the matchup once you get the flip off. For stage 6, he did the full Superior 6. I had the Secret Defenders with Emma and Morgan Le Fay in here. He got an 8369 on this one. As far as changes go on this one, I think I might have wanted to try out the New Warriors with Apocalypse into that Secret Defenders Black Knight, because Apocalypse does the counter for the Black Knight fairly well. I have a Gwenpool to try to flip the buffs, and then I can try to work down some of the Secret Defender members. I'm curious if that would end up having worked better, because then I could use the Superior 6 elsewhere, and it really could have changed my matchup around. So I think that is one of the big things I would have changed on this fight. But overall, I had a lot of fun on Updog's stream doing this. Make sure to check that out when he puts that on YouTube. If you do see anything else that maybe I could have done differently, or if you had questions about it, feel free to put that in the comment section below. If you did end up liking this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up, as well as sharing it with your friends and subscribing to the channel. Until next time, you all have a wonderful rest of the day.